What lets you see your real self? Pictures or mirrors? Sometimes we look better in the mirror. Other times we like ourselves more in pictures. But why do these images often look so different? And which one is lying? The mirror or the camera? Let's try and figure it out together. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you'll always be the first to see all our new videos. You might not realize it, but there is a psychological aspect that plays an important role in how you perceive your appearance, whether it's in a photo or the mirror. Simply speaking, we tend to look in the mirror the most when we're at home, in an environment where we feel our freest and most relaxed. You don't have any makeup on, your hair isn't all done up, you are visually your natural and true self. As for photographs, we usually end up in the frame while we're on foreign turf, meaning that we can look more tense and unprepared. We all try to look good and want to get a perfect picture to share on social media, so we put pressure on ourselves. That's why when we glance in the mirror before heading off to a party, we see an irresistibly good-looking individual. And then the next day, looking at ourselves in those party shots, we suddenly notice quite the opposite. Thumbs up if you can totally relate. Maybe the solution is to try to be more natural on camera. Don't put up a completely different front. After all, it's capturing the moment that matters. Another important aspect is the angle. You see, nobody's face is purely symmetrical. Of course, some lucky faces are more symmetrical while others are less, but still, completely facial symmetry is exceptionally rare. And there lies the cause of all the confusion. Every morning, as we look in the mirror, we stand in the same spot, observing ourselves from a familiar perspective. As a result, we get used to seeing our face from one particular angle. But when it comes to photographs, you don't always get a warning about how, when, and from which direction the picture will be taken. So when you see the final shot, your face often looks way different and maybe less attractive. If this bothers you, just try to find your perfect angles and work them every time your picture is being taken. Or go a completely different direction and figure out all the angles that don't flatter you and avoid them when you're posing for photographs. The more you know about your facial structure and its visually strong and weak points, the better. Learn what works for you, and taking a photo won't be such a problem anymore. White balance also influences our appearance in pictures. Every type of lighting has its own temperature, but when we look in the mirror, we don't register this temperature diversity at all. And this happens because of our brain. It just automatically evens out all the subtle differences and shows us the complexion we're used to seeing. A photograph, however, captures the lighting as it really is with all the offsets and variations in temperature. All professional photographers know that lighting can make or break a shot. When we look in the mirror, even if the lighting is crappy, painting our faces different colors or casting shadows all over it here and there, we still see our usual selves. The camera, unlike the brain, doesn't try and help us out here. It makes us see our features in objective lighting. So whenever you look at yourself in a photograph and you don't like what you see, maybe the lighting is to blame. Focusing on certain aspects of our appearance also plays a role in the mirror versus photo debate. Pretty much every time we look in the mirror, we usually focus on some particular part of our reflection and don't see the overall picture. We're looking at our lips, nose, eyebrows, or shoulders and don't analyze how all these bits work together to form our appearance. But when we look at a photograph, we perceive everything at once and notice things that previously seemed insignificant. It can be bad posture, awkwardly positioned hands, or anything else you usually don't notice in your reflection. Here's where learning how to pose can help out a lot. There are tons of posing tutorials online, or you can just figure out which ones work for you by taking a bunch of pictures and picking out the best ones. This will help you feel way more confident in front of a camera. And finally, the biggest thing that confuses us is mirroring. In a reflection, we always see an inverted version of ourselves, and that ultimately shapes our perception of what we look like. But it kind of fools us. Pictures, on the other hand, portray us the way we're seen by others. That's why this is an unusual perspective for us that can come as quite a surprise. But photographs have their own downsides that we covered earlier. So what actually gives us a true image of ourselves, pictures or mirrors? Well, sorry to all of you who love checking yourself out in the mirror, but only photographs can give us a more accurate image of ourselves. But even if you're not the most photogenic person in the frame, don't worry. Maybe you were snapped at a bad moment, or you were stressed out or sleep deprived. Heck, maybe you didn't even have time to suck in your gut. You probably know a couple of average-looking people that always look incredible in photographs. And that's simply because they know exactly what works for them. Everything comes with practice, so don't be afraid to take more pictures. Just by looking at them, you can see what angle or pose is the best and which of your features you should highlight. Take some time to get to know yourself and your appearance, and you'll always look your best in every shot. What about you? Do you like yourself better in the mirror or in photos? Tell us in the comments section below. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and family. It'll definitely help them out too. And while you're at it, give it a like. Remember to always stay on the bright side of life. See you soon!